A man passed by a large shopping mall called Zero Richest People. He then invited his friend to come up with a plan. First, they observed the situation inside the mall, then began collecting expensive items from several stores. After that, they sold some of the goods to a second-hand dealer. Still unsatisfied, they visited a car rental company, chose the most expensive car, and drove to the underground trading market. In less than a day, they earned over 100,000 euros. Why were they so bold? The story began a few days earlier. Benno, a professional thief, suffered from a peculiar condition causing him to fall asleep suddenly, regardless of the situation, be it in an elevator, waiting for the subway, driving at high speed, or even at great heights. Concerned, he visited a hospital, where doctors advised him to enjoy his meals while he could. Tests revealed an egg-sized tumor in his brain, already ruptured, indicating limited time left. While most would be devastated by such news, Benno unexpectedly fell asleep. Upon waking, he found himself in a hospice ward. That night, he contemplated jumping off the roof. At that moment, a man named Andy approached and asked, "Brother, are you here to jump off the building?" Benno replied, "Yes, isn't this a coincidence?" Andy said, "I'm here to jump off the building too." Curious, Benno inquired, "Why are you jumping?" Andy explained, "My lungs are 3/4 fibrotic. I've been awaiting lung cancer in the hospital for 3 years. I'm also a blogger on a video platform. Despite years of effort, I have only 12 followers, 4 are medical staff, 3 are fellow patients I've lost over the years, and the remaining 5 might be fake accounts. They never interact with me. I feel I have no reason to live. So, why are you here?" They chatted all night, forgetting their initial intentions. The next day, Benno wandered around the hospital and stumbled upon the hospital's express delivery station, filled with unopened packages. The administrator mentioned that these were items ordered by patients using credit cards before passing away, and since they wouldn't need to repay, it didn't matter. This revelation sparked an idea in Benno. He approached Andy with a plan: "You go to the bank to get a loan, and then we'll use the money to enjoy our remaining time. After all, we're dying and won't need to repay." Initially skeptical, Andy was convinced by Benno's persuasion. They applied for a loan, with Andy enduring discomfort without his oxygen tank to avoid suspicion. Despite challenges, the loan was approved. However, when finalizing the paperwork, the plan fell through, causing Benno to become furious. Andy explained his near suffocation during the process, but Benno had already left. Benno noticed a store named Zero Richest Man and decided to teach the owner a lesson. Since the bank loan didn't materialize, they targeted the store owner. This led to their earlier escapades, earning a backpack full of money in less than a day. They rented a supercar and raced on the highway. When the speed exceeded 250 kilometers per hour, Benno suddenly fell asleep, terrifying Andy. Fortunately, a slap woke Benno, averting a serious accident. Late at night, Benno thought of his daughter and ex-wife. He visited his ex-wife's house, only to be told by his ex-mother-in-law that his ex-wife had taken their daughter to Africa and was about to marry an African man. When Benno hesitated to leave, she released the family dog on him. Determined, Benno decided to go to Africa to see his daughter one last time. Andy, initially unwilling to leave the hospital, agreed on the condition that he could accompany him. They set off, with Andy bringing a box of oxygen cylinders to avoid suffocation. Experiencing first-class travel for the first time, they arrived in Africa. Instead of immediately seeking his daughter, they enjoyed the beach and met 2 women. To conceal his illness, Andy took breaks every 2 minutes to use his oxygen tank discreetly. They traveled in a motorhome, and upon passing a slum, Benno insisted on getting supplies. ignoring Andy's warnings about hygiene. As predicted, Benno fell ill. That night, they rested in the car, but Andy's fear of robbers kept him awake. Benno, annoyed, took Andy to a tower sculpture and took his oxygen cylinder, challenging him to retrieve it.
Okay. Benno!
Andy, desperate, crawled over to get it. For more excitement, Benno climbed a tower crane but fell asleep mid-climb. Andy secured him with a belt until workers arrived the next morning. The following day, Andy, exhausted, let Benno drive. Upon waking, he found Benno asleep in the car stationary. Stepping out to relieve himself, Andy admired the African savanna's beauty, only to realize a lion was approaching. Trying to remain unnoticed, he hoped the lion wouldn't see him. Miraculously, the lion urinated on him and left. Andy, exhilarated, felt fearless and discarded all his medications. At a gas station, they caught a young thief named Brown trying to steal from them. Initially wanting to drive him away, Andy felt sympathy and decided to take him in. Surprisingly, Brown proved helpful, cleaning up and preparing breakfast the next morning. After a long journey, they arrived at the wedding venue. Benno saw his daughter and was overwhelmed. However, before he could embrace her, a man confronted him, questioning why he was holding his daughter. It turned out his daughter was in his ex-wife's arms. The ex-wife, furious, accused Benno of abandoning them years ago. Benno revealed his terminal illness, but she accused him of lying. A scuffle ensued, with Andy intervening using a stolen gun to control the situation. Later, Benno sat alone by a lake, reflecting. Andy joined him, suggesting they open a store, emphasizing their limited time. They talked all night and fell asleep by the lake. The next morning, they discovered Xiao He had stolen their car and money. Andy laughed, suggesting they embrace their situation and go wherever fate led them. The two of them headed to the highway and hitched a ride. They ended up at a scenic 5A tourist site called Cape of Good Hope. The view was beautiful, it looked like a peaceful place. "Let's end it all right here," they said. Benno pointed the gun at Andy, but he couldn't bring himself to pull the trigger. "Forget it. I'll just end my own life instead." But again, he couldn't do it. Andy teased him, "Look at you, no guts. Watch me." Benno handed him the gun and said, "Let me be the one to send you off." Then, just as he was about to shoot, Andy's pager suddenly went off. Only the hospital had his contact info, it had to be about a lung donor. Benno warned him, "This is definitely a trap. They just want to trick you into going back so you'll pay the money you owe." That really stung. So, they parted ways. Andy quickly boarded a return flight. When he arrived at the hospital, he was excited, thinking he was about to be treated. But the doctor told him, "You should have called us back. We didn't contact you because we found a lung. We just realized we mixed up the scans. Benno's x-ray was sent to you by mistake. We couldn't reach him, so we used your pager." Andy was furious. "You're telling me this now? Benno might already be dead by now." But Benno hadn't taken his own life yet. Before dying, he just wanted to see his daughter one last time, from a distance. Could she have inherited his brain tumor? Panicking, Benno rushed to his ex-wife's house. He begged them to take their daughter for a checkup. He didn't want her to end up like him, discovering it only when it was too late. He even handed over his own scan results. His ex-wife said, "She inherited your narcolepsy, not a tumor. And it's not a serious condition." "Not serious? My brain has a tumor that's practically falling apart." Eventually, Benno passed out. When he woke up, he saw his sweet, innocent daughter by his side. At that moment, he realized he wasn't going to die. He rushed to the hospital, only to find Andy in critical condition. Andy had stopped taking his medication for days and was now beyond saving. Benno carried Andy to the rooftop. They watched the sunrise together one last time. Everything returned to silence. The wind slowly calmed. My hair was full of sand. I could smell tuna and orange juice in the air. The sun wasn't harsh, but I was already burned. Then the two of them collapsed. One closed his eyes forever. The other just fell asleep. After burying Andy, Benno refused a large settlement from the hospital. He simply said, "And that was the happiest day."